and welcome back to my channel. I'm Jade, the owner of Knot and Pine Design. Thank you so much for supporting my little adventure. Right now we are going to work through this DIY wristlet kit that you purchased. It makes this awesome little keychain wristlet. Comes in many different colors. It also has this great clasp that has a 360-degree swivel. Just makes it great to get those keys out of that purse, or just makes them a little bit bigger to find. The handle's nice and soft and comfortable. It's a big enough wristlet that you can get it on and off easily, and I just love mine, so I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. In your wristlet kit, you're going to have not only your materials, you're also going to have a coupon code. That coupon code is for my website. If you go on, you can select the digital download version of the instruction manual for this kit, as well as a basic knot guide for free. You just enter the coupon code at checkout and it'll zero out the total and then allow you to download the digital format. So if you prefer that way, you can. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and get started with this, and I hope you guys enjoy. Thanks again. Right, so you've unpackaged your materials. Go ahead and grab your little clasp out, get it hung up on your workstation. You can use a piece of rope if you don't have a hook like this or something to hook it on. You can tie a little piece of rope through here and tie it to a bar if you need to. You have unpackaged your materials. You want to hang up your little clasp. You can use a hook like this, or you could even just tie a little cord through here, a little string or something, and hang it, tie a knot at the top and hang it if you don't have one of these hooks. It is a 360 clasp, so it will spin on you slightly when you're doing your work. You can also use a clipboard by clipping your clipboard down your clasp on it like this here. And then you'll have a flat working surface for your lap if you choose that direction. And then you want to pull out your 4 longer cords. They are 8.5 feet each. You want to grab the ends, each end, and find the center of the cord. So now I'm at the center. I want to take the center loop and we're going to put all 4 cords on using a lark's head knot. You're going to go through the top with the loop, pull it down a little bit, and you're going to pull your cords through that loop. And you're going to do that for all 4 cords. And go ahead and find the end, match them together, and then find the center. Create a lark's head knot by taking the loop through the keychain clasp, and then pull your cords through that loop and pull it tight. Last one. Now all of them are secured onto our ring, and we can go ahead and get started with the body of our keychain wristlet. So you're going to take your center 4 cords and you're going to start a square knot. You're going to take your left working cord over the top like a figure 4. You're going to take the right working cord over the top of that, behind the 2 center cords, and pull it through the loop. And you're going to want to tighten it to about that 1 inch mark. Now you're going to do the same thing, but you're going to start with the right hand side. So you'll make a backwards 4 over the cords in the center. You'll take your left working cord and go over the top of the right working cord, behind the center 2 and up through the right hand loop. And tighten it down. Get this is your first center knot. Now when we end, we're going to end on a center knot just like this. Now we are going to continue the body by alternating our working cords. So we're going to take 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we're going to tie a square knot. We're going to leave 5, 6, 7, and 8 out. So you're going to take the center 2 in the middle, your left working cord over the top, your right working cord over the top of that, and behind the center 2 and through the loop. You'll constantly be kind of touching that. If you want, you can tape it through here. That will help it stopping. I've kind of just gotten used to it. And then finish your square knot using the right working cord over the top, behind the center and through the loop. Pull it tight. Now we're going to leave those 4 out, and we're going to go to the cords 5, 6, 7, and 8. We're going to tie another square knot, starting with the left hand cord over the top in a figure 4, right working cord over the top of that, behind the center 2 and through the loop. Pull it tight. You want it to be right up on this other first knot here. No gaps. Right working cord over the top, left working cord over the top of that, and behind the 2 center through the loop. And that completes that knot. Pull it tight. So you kind of have like a little pyramid here. Now we're going to go back to the center. So we're going to leave out cords 1 and 2. We're going to work with 3, 4, 5, and 6. Leave 7 and 8 out. Square knot. Left working cord over the top, right over the top of that, and behind the center 2 through the loop. Pull it tight. One more time. Right working cord over the top, left working cord over the top of that, and behind the center 2 and through the loop. Pull it tight. And I want to make sure that it's right up on those other knots, and you'll have this little kind of diamond shaped hole in the center there. And that's your pattern. We're going to continue this pattern all the way down. We are going to do 14 inches of this pattern, about, depending on how tight you tie your square knots. It might be 14 and a quarter. So we make sure that we end at least 14 inches down with a single square knot in the center. That's how we want to end this. So we're just going to continue the pattern for 14 more inches, alternating inside and outside. You're also going to see these kind of small gaps on the edges. That's perfectly normal. These little hoops kind of on the edge here. It's just what it does. You're on track. Now we're going to go to the center, tie a square knot. Get that tight. Have another diamond. Now we're going to go to the outside 4 and then the right 5, 6, 7, and 8 next. So you're doing a row of 1, a row of 2, a row of 1, a row of 2, all the way down. You want to practice keeping the same amount of tension and tightening your knots the same way every time. So that way you get a nice even pattern. You kind of want these side hoops to be nice and evenly spaced. Oops, did that one a little too tight. Just kind of wiggle this center down a little bit. It'll loosen up for you if you do that. And just continue all the way down. Now we're going to the center 4. Tight. So just continue your pattern for 14 inches, maybe 14 and a quarter from your top knot. So here we are at about 9.5 inches from the top knot. Just want to zoom in so we can take a look. Still got a few inches left to go. I just wanted to kind of show you what we're looking like here. Okay, so I have completed my keychain length. I just wanted you to see what it looks like. Mine ends up being about 14 and a quarter. I ended on a center knot. And I definitely just wanted to make sure that you knew you had some extra string, especially a couple of them are really long. That's okay. We're going to cut this off. You can utilize it for another project if you'd like. This is what it should look like when it's all done. Now we are going to gather everything up and I'll show you the next step. All right, so you've got your length completed. And now you are going to take all of the hanging strings that are extra and you're going to tuck them through the top of this keychain clasp here over the top of your lark's head knotted cords. So I usually start with just a few of them. I grab them at the bottoms here. One of them obviously is pretty extensionally long there. That's all right. And I just stuff them through carefully. You don't want to snag anything, and you just kind of pull them through slightly to get them in there. And then I want to grab the others, kind of bunch it up, stick it through the top. We're going to organize them all in just a second so it doesn't really make a difference whether or not you have them in the right place. Mine split a little bit. That's okay. Just pull it through. All right. All these guys pulled through tight. So now you've kind of created this loop here. All right. Now we are going to line up the last knot, which was a center knot, with the very first knot that we did. And that's going to give you about a 1-inch gap on the end of your cords for a total of about 16 inches. We did 1 inch here, 14 inches here, and then another inch. And we're going to tie a knot around the whole shebang. We want to make sure to just kind of grasp your wristlet at that top knot where they join up and get your cords kind of pulled all the way through. Make sure they're nice and flat. I hold them with my back finger so I can make sure that they're, you know, in the exact place that I want them to be. Now, what we are going to do is take our extra little 36-inch piece that came with your cords. This is the smallest cord. There's only one of them in your package. and we are going to tie a gathering knot. So to do that, we've got our cords grasped in our hand here with all of the cords hanging down the back side. Okay, we're going to hold these. We want to make sure that we keep these single knots here in the center together, as close together as possible, all lined up. Now, you're going to take one end of your shorter cord, your 36-inch cord, and we're going to create a gathering knot. You're going to take that cord and give yourself, you know, a couple of inches, maybe 2-3 inches, and put your thumb on top of that cord, right in the center of your work there. The rest of it's going to hang down. You want to create a loop with the bottom of this cord here. Your loop should be a couple inches wide. And hold it with the thumb again in the center. So the cords are right next to each other and we've got this little loop. Okay, we're going to grasp that. Now we're going to take this long part here that we have remaining and we're going to start wrapping around to create a gathering knot. We want to go underneath this small part we left hanging out the top when we first go around. So I like to tuck him into my keychain hook to keep him up and out of the way. So I take the longer cord and I wrap it to the left. You can also go to the right if you're more comfortable going to the right, that's just fine. And the trick here is making sure that you've got your first kind of wrap around right at the edge of those lark's head knots that we created very, very beginning to keep everything nice and tight up on this keychain, okay? So we want to create a nice tight pull over the top, and then we just continue wrapping. And this guy should stay kind of up and out of your way if you keep him tucked in the loop. And then I hold every time I go around, my loop is still down here, and I hold the cord as I wrap it around the back side. And you want to just go all the way around, nice and tight, until you get to that top knot. And each time you wrap your loop around, it should be right below the loop you had before. And then you just kind of move your hand down with it, keep everything nice and tight with your thumb. Okay, I just wanted to show you what it looks like. I've still got this loop hanging here. My top piece is still sticking out the top. We're going to use those to tighten everything at the end. I'm going to put my thumb back where it was. And I'm going to go around a couple more times. Can kind of feel that I'm at that knot, that center beginning knot. I like to go maybe 1 or 2 loops past it because when we do pull this tight, it will snug up a little bit. So I'm going to lift this up. I'm right at that top knot, the first set of center knots here. I'm going to go another one around. I want it to be nice and even. Now I'm going to stop and I'm at my loop. There's some extra cord hanging here. You're going to take that extra cord and you're going to tuck it through the loop that you created through the top and pull it through. And I'm holding the rope bundle that's been gone around and around just to keep it nice and tight with my other thumb here. So I've tucked it through the loop. Okay, now I grab it and hold it on the opposite side of this loop to kind of keep everything nice and tight. So my thumb is holding that longer piece that we just tucked through the loop up against everything here. It just helps to kind of tighten everything down. Now I'm going to take this little spot of piece that we left hanging out the top and I'm going to pull on it, keeping this thumb pretty tight on the cords so they don't loosen all up around here, okay? I'm going to pull that through, and as you'll see, once you get to a certain point, it's going to hook that cord that we pulled through the loop we had created, okay? It's going to pull it up inside. So now I've got one cord out and one cord out the top. And my knot is right about here on the inside of everything that we twisted around. So I just want to give it one last small little pull, Making sure that it's up in there really good. We want it to be about halfway through your twisted spots there. And you can kind of see it, you can feel it with your hand. Now, we want to cut the bottom first from our gathering knot. I like to do that because then I can pull this top string a tiny bit and hide the cut end underneath. So I just clip that off. See this little frayed kind of spot there from where I cut? If you just pull it slightly, it'll hide itself inside that knot like everything else. Now you can cut the top cord off. And I use the tip of my scissors. Careful, don't jab yourself with your hand or with your scissor tip, and push those little cut edges down into the top of the gathering knot. You just kind of want to hide it down in there. Okay, so this is what we've got. Our cords are still dangling from the back, but everything is nice and tight. So now we just need to get rid of these cords. You can keep them if you want to, or cut them down here and fray them out, or fluff them out if you like, or untwist them. I like mine to be gone. It kind of tickles my wrist a little bit. Gets tangled up on stuff, so I grasp the entire bunch that's remaining as close to that knot as I can without cutting your knot. You don't want to cut those cords. You want to cut just below, and I push the back of my wristlet up like this with my fingers, and I cut right underneath. And you want to just double and triple check and make sure that you don't cut that knot. Okay, those are going to be all your extras. Now what you can do is the same thing we did here. Using the tip of your scissors, you can just let them hang. That's totally fine. It's a pretty good cut. You can just trim it up and leave it. It's fine, but I like mine to be tucked in. So carefully, do not stab yourself. Kind of just push those little edges up into the wristlet. I kind of just squeeze my knot and make sure that everything stays in place. You've got some flexibility there when you're pushing. You want to just tuck all those little ends away. Just gives it a really nice clean look. And there you have it. Congratulations. Excellent job. I'll show you a picture of the final product. All right, that's it. You've completed your wristlet. I hope you love it as much as I do. Again, it's just such a great little thing to have. Everybody needs a great keychain. So thank you so much for your support. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the page, turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. Thanks so much. Have a great night.